An impressive victory for Reading. A terrific performance from a goaltender. And for the first time, the Kelly Cup will be taking up residence in Pennsylvania. The ECHL's 25th anniversary season comes to an end with one team's first title, right now on ECHL Week. If it wasn't for the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets, the Reading Royals might not even exist. The East Coast Hockey League's Columbus Chill was a strong franchise which experienced a modicum of success, including 2 division titles in the 1990s. But when Columbus was granted a major league franchise, the Chill suspended operations and was in turn sold and then moved to Reading, Pennsylvania. That was 12 seasons ago. And although Reading's Royals have had their successes in the meantime, they're probably best known for being the only team in ECHL history to lose a best-of-7 playoff series after being ahead 3-0. That's all changed now. If it wasn't dominating, it was at very least a convincing victory for Reading over the Stockton Thunder to earn the franchise's first league title and the Kelly Cup. The Royals, who won the first 3 games of the series, were outplayed and defeated by the Western Conference champion Thunder in Game 4. Let's watch history unfold in Game 5. Here to get us started are Mike Benton and Danny Sperry on the Stockton Thunder Broadcast Network.
Wrist shot blocked and chipped out by Cox for TJ Seiner, left wing. Wrist shot just missing wide. Rebound to the far board. Shelgren plants it and back. Slowed down by DeHart, who deflects one. Near side Barry. Feeds the point. Matera. Wrist shot. Barry score! That changed directions about roughly 2 times. TJ Seiner was setting a screen at the front. Matera got the shot, and they take a 1-0 lead. Tifu, right corner, Thunder zone, walks out into the slot, hangs on now, waits, takes it wide, stuffs it on, say bounce, rebound knocked away, Fleming fires, whips, second chance bid, missed it off of traffic. Thunder control, and do they ever dodge a major bullet? 17 to go, puck cleared. Loose puck now to the red line. Fleming picks up into the offensive zone. Fakes a shot, takes it wide. Now on net, score! Brett Fleming with 17:11 to play in the second period. Driving in all by himself behind the D. Reading takes it away. Barlow near side. Golfs it back out to center. 14:48 to go, second period. Game 5 Kelly Cup Finals. Reading up 2-0 in the Thunder. Ryan Constant back in his own zone. Skates up the right wing. Enters a Reading zone and upended by Patrick Weller. Puck clear back up by Reading to center ice. Constant from Hunt. Brings it back in left side. Upended by Fleming at the boards, and he'll draw a penalty. Fleming got the stick up, and it's cross-checking Reading with 14:26 to go in the second period. Can the Thunder keep it in? No, they can't. TJ Seiner ahead, pokes it on a break. Ian O'Connor on goal, shoots, score! The silence is deafening in this place as Ian O'Connor converts on a shorthanded breakaway goal.
We're recovering the puck right now on this power play.
Thunder getting Mike Little out there alongside DeHart. Boisclair. Reber out there as well. Here's a shot, left point. Weller save, rebound, score! TJ Seiner.
So yeah, you know, someone's got to be on that guy right there. He can't just be wide open in front of the net.
Tifu now to the right circle. Hangs on, whips on his pass to flex back. Matera keeps in to Galiev. From the circle, shoots and scores. Stanislav Galiev converts. That's 4 goals in this period alone. They lead 5-0. Off the face-off, Boutin, puck deflects and back. Hunter jams it on net, saved by Gill. Puck still loose and back in the cage. Hunt battling, gives up Berglund. Hangs on right corner, center the front, deflection on, save, Hunt second chance bid, save by Gill, puck deflects in, no goal. The goal horn sounds with 4:48 left, but the officials wave it off. Might have went into the net, too little, too late, as the whistle blew with 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go. Hunt carries his center ice. Not the stick of Galiev. Now center carries in left side. Center's in front. Champagne scores. 3:35 to go in the third period. Joel Champagne going toward the front of the net.
Yeah, and Champagne just took net, put his stick on the ice, and Steiner really made that whole play happen as a nice backdoor pass. Just redirected off him up and in, and not a whole lot of help for Buns on that one.
The Reading Royals, who entered the ECHL 12 seasons ago, appear poised to hold the hardware for the first time with 22 seconds remaining in regulation time, up 6-0 on the Stockton Thunder. I know the people back in Berks County in Reading, Pennsylvania, are cheering their Royals. I wish you were here to watch what was going on right now as the Royals are about to hold on to the hardware for the first time in team history. As Brett Fleming sends the puck towards the bench, out comes the team. The Reading Royals are the 2013 Kelly Cup champions here in Stockton, California, celebrating with Riley Gill, his 7th shutout of this season, Pat Richards.
What a beautiful sight, Mark Thompson. The long sail, sticks, gloves, helmets littering the ice. The Royals celebrating in the gold crease. Reading Royals, 2013 Kelly Cup champions. What a nice ring that has. And appropriately so, Ethan Cox and Kirk McDonald, the gentlemen that they are, lead the way, and the Royals begin the handshake line. It is tradition in hockey, a tradition, to quote Jim Nance in the Masters, unlike any other in sports, in my opinion.
Well, they are getting to the MVP award here as ECHL Commissioner Brian McKenna right back at center ice, and it will go to goaltender Riley Gill. Well-deserved. He had 4 shutouts in this postseason run, finishing 13-4 in 17 games. Remarkable for him, wasn't even a twinkle in Reading's eye by Christmas in the Southern Professional Hockey League. The lockout ended, the hockey landscape leveled. Reading a goaltending change needed, losing the American Hockey League, and in comes Riley Gill to complete a season he will never forget. The Kelly Cup is escorted out to center ice. Patrick J. Kelly will assist in the present. The captain, Yannick Tifu, who has battled through so many professional seasons, got so close to the Dayton Bombers back in 2007. A chance to lift it now, first, as Reading's team captain. Tifu and Kelly posing for a photo at center ice. Their hands around the ECHL's Holy Grail. And in seconds, Tifu will take it himself and thrust it toward the sky to commence Reading's celebration at center ice. As Yannick Tifu lifts the Kelly Cup to begin Reading's championship celebration. The Kelly Cup first awarded to the playoff champion back in 1997. Kirk McDonald, through several seasons as a pro, took it next as well from Tifu. Well deserving for him. The Kelly Cup named in recognition of Patrick J. Kelly, of course, one of the founding fathers. It is 26 inches, weighing 27 pounds, created from the hands of those who also helped create the Calder Cup in the AHL, the U.S. Open Tennis Trophy, and also the Masters Trophy. Part of its ritual on display at the ECHL All-Star Game with the Stanley Cup. Patrick Weller hoisting it at ice. He is now in ECHL lore, one of just 2 players to win it 3 times in ECHL history. He joins Scott Burt and Jared Bednar in that elite class. Riley Gill takes hands of the trophy as the celebration continues right at center ice. Tonight, the Reading Royals hoist the cup front and center at Stockton Arena as the Thunder complete a memorable run here to the finals in a Western Conference Championship run. The final in this Game 5, 6-0, Reading over the Thunder. The Royals win the Kelly Cup 4-1.
A lot needs to go right, and a lot didn't go right for us in this series. You know, we had a wild and crazy Game 1, and if that goes our way, it's probably a very different series. And it doesn't go our way, and then obviously Game 2 gets away from us, and then we come back and we make one more mistake than them in Game 3, and we had a huge mountain. But I don't think for a second any one of us thought that we couldn't, make the comeback and do what is so tough to do and has hardly ever been done. But you got to give credit to Reading. They played a very strong series. They played really well, and they played better than us in the series, and that really is what it came down to.
I mean, you look at how we did it. It was something special. Getting production from guys all over the lineup, all up and down it. Wadsey was in the pipes, and he was kicking for us every night. We knew we had a chance to win, and it didn't matter when we needed a goal, what time in the game it was, how many goals we needed. We knew that we could go out and get it done, and it was something special to be a part of.
It was exciting and it was fun. Opportunities like this don't come around a lot, and all I can say is just a great group of guys in here. Every game we played, we thought we could win, and we knew we had the feeling we could win it. And like I told the guys, this group will never be together again. And it was definitely fun when it lasted, and we had great times together.
Definitely, for me, I've never had the opportunity to go this far in the playoffs. Not just go this far, but play the type of games that we played, like you said, winning in overtime and winning a lot of those close games. And I mean, there's nothing more fun than that, winning overtime games. It was a lot of fun this season. I had a lot of fun with the guys and everyone in the room.
Everybody learns. You learn. Every year's a learning experience. It's a new one. I think when you have any type of really long playoff run, it makes you a better player, makes you a better coach, it makes you a better organization, and it certainly did that for everybody that was involved in this one. I don't think any one of us is thinking about next year right now. It's still pretty new. I think there's still a lot of disappointment. Like it's like when your dog dies. You have a good day and you come home and you realize that he's not there again, and it's it pulls at you again. And I don't think we'll get over it for a long while, but I think it will motivate us and it will make us all better for next year.
You taste something so close. We were 3 games away from winning the Kelly Cup, and like I said after the last game, you taste something, and you taste it, and you can hear them raising it out there. And I told everybody, it's you think as hard as you worked, you could work harder and to get what you really want, and that's the payout, is the Kelly Cup. And wherever these guys go on this team, whether it's a different team next year or a different job, whatever it is, going as far as we did and accomplishing what we did will help them all in the future. And it's a big stepping stone for a lot of guys on this team.
We talked to members of the Kelly Cup champion Reading Royals straight ahead on ECHL Week.
So many reasons to be a fan, so many ways to show it. Customize your own at shop.nhl.com.
I'm a legend. I'm the player you want to be. I'm the name you'll wear on your jersey. I'm one of a kind. You'll see me everywhere. On the ice. Online. On the All-Star team. Take a good look. I'm the future.
We've seen the cup-clinching game highlights and heard from the Stockton Thunder. But what about the champs? After a little bit of sleep, at least for some of them, and a cross-country flight home, we caught up with some Royals moments after they touched down at the airport. Here's what they had to say.
I think, early in the season when we won 11 in a row, I thought we had a target on ourselves. Everybody wanted to end the streak, and it goes in any sport. You look at the Blackhawks this year when they had that streak, everybody's having a target on the Blackhawks. So I really think that Florida coming into the playoff had a target on themselves, being a defending champ. If you can beat the defending champ, you're always, not closer to the Kelly Cup, but you kind of build from there and you learn a little bit. They've been through it before, we've been through. So I know next year, it's funny that we talked about it already because it's been happening last night, but it's going to be a process. I'm sure it's going to be new guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but from the guys that all come back, it's just going to be important to make sure we play the same way. It's going to be hard though to go 72 games to go back to the playoff. I think that's what's going to be hard to focus on is play a 72 game season to get back to the playoff. When you taste it once, it's the first time I taste it, but I already know I want to go back. When I lost in the Kelly Cup final 6 years ago, it took me 72 games to get back to the playoff, and I was like, the season kind of get boring a little bit. You're looking forward for the playoff. That's where you kind of make your bread and butter, and then right now that's what happened this year. So I know it's going to be hard, so I'm sure Larry and the coaching staff is going to make sure we keep our composure all year long, and then from there we'll move on. But for right now, I'm going to try to probably enjoy it for a month or 2 or 3 weeks for sure.
Being up 5-0 going into the third period, a lot of the boys in the locker room were really excited, and it's we had to control our emotions going into the third period there, and then last minute was something special. You don't get that hardly ever, and some people don't get that ever in their career. So it was a very special moment for me and their team, and couldn't feel better right now.
It was nice. It was just going out there playing really hard. Trying to keep it simple and just kind of trying to get our speed going. That's our advantage, and trying to get the forecheck going, and it worked out well.
I think as you look up as the period, as the third period goes on, and you see the time clicking away slowly, it sinks in more and more. Probably not really until my last shift did I really kind of take a breather and sit back and say we did it, kind of thing. But it's no matter what the score you try and play, but we gave ourselves a pretty nice cushion there to kind of sit back and let the game come to us there. So at no point did we really take it for granted, but the boys really finished it out really well.
Yeah, they beat a couple of good teams west to get to the finals, and we didn't really know what to expect, and it was I wouldn't say it was easy, but it definitely, I would have to say that the Florida series was definitely I mean, obviously won 7, but they were, I'd have to say they were the best team we faced all playoffs. They were a really good team, and nothing against Stockton or anything, but I think I don't think they'd seen a team with not just our skill level, but our size and physicality. That I think that was a bit of an adjustment for them.
I mean, I would say maybe when Gallia put that goal in on the power play to go up 5-0, that was kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, well, we're up by a lot, but everybody just wanted to keep focused and everything. So.
Oh, it was awesome. Surreal feeling. You play for your entire life, and it was just awesome to do, and have it finally come to finally happen.
Well, I mean, my car was sitting in San Francisco for part of the season, so it would have been I could have drove it home from there. No, it's been a good year as far as seeing a lot of places, but like I said, it's a great way to cap it off.
Yeah, you know, it's a great group of guys we got here, and you know, we knew we had something special, you know, a couple months before playoffs started even, and you know, definitely gonna remember these guys for a long time to come, and hopefully we can play with them, you know, next year.
You know what, Larry has always put together really good teams, but starting out 1-5, you know, we maybe had a little bit of doubt, but the way we were playing, we were outplaying teams, we were out-chancing teams, we were playing a new system with Washington system, so we knew that if we just stuck with it, things would come, because we knew we had a lot of goal scorers, and we weren't scoring a lot of goals at the time, so we knew if we just stuck with it, we would prevail. But come November, December, we knew there wasn't a team in the league that could stop us, so it was just a matter of timing, getting guys back at the right time, and keeping the play up, and just staying positive with each other and just playing hard for each other.
I think as a team, the boys really stuck together. I think there were moments within the season, especially at the beginning of the year, and then certain games at certain times throughout the year where it could have been really easy for the guys to kind of fold it in and just kind of give up on a certain game and move on to the next one. But we never did that. I think throughout the entire year, our third periods were the strongest period our entire season, and we kind of built an identity around that, where our third period would be the strongest and the best periods. And throughout the entire playoffs, that was really kind of our MO, and we built on that, and we're confident in our third periods, and it only helped us to close out a lot of games down the stretch.
I think that it hasn't all sunk in yet, Barry. It's going to take probably a while to actually go through it. I think what I saw from just a hockey operations standpoint is the importance of adjustments as the season progresses. There are many decisions made by Coach Corval that I thought really did keep us on a path that ultimately resulted in winning the championship this season. Some important decisions at important moments. The other element that I think stands out in my mind, but I think this is something that I've felt strongly for in a while, is that you have to have talent to win one of these, but you're not going to win without character. And that balance of talent and character is really a big part of what the coach is doing when he's building the club and then essentially driving the club to a certain point and ultimately turning it over to the leadership group in the team. And I think that's another element that I've heard previously, but I certainly saw it firsthand. The leadership group that we had with this team: Kirk McDonald, Yannick Tifu, Ethan Cox. They could go right down the line. And late joining us in playoffs, although he was a big part of the regular season as well, Patrick Weller, a huge part. I think at that point, Larry knew that he had turned over the wheel and the accelerator over to the leadership group, and they were the ones that drove the bus over the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely the best moment of my hockey career. Is amazing. I've never been on a winning team before, and I mean, I missed the playoffs the last 3 years, so just, you know, it was amazing. It was just, it was a great moment, and I'm just, you know, so glad to be a part of it.
I think that's a key word right now, is you can call yourself a champion. You know, it's just, for myself, 8 years pro, I wanted to turn an image of people saying that, you know, he was a great hockey player in the season, but he never won nothing. You know, at one point, you know, everybody, I'm sure, had something inside of him that wanted to win the cup. I wanted to win the cup for my teammates, but I wanted to, you know, there's always a little special thing inside of you that you want to win that thing, and, you know, forever I'll be known as a champion, you know. and that's something that I'm really proud of. I battled it for 8 years, and it's been a long run, and I'm really happy. I'm happy for a guy like K-Mac. You know, K-Mac's been in the league as long as I was in the league, and then he finally got it. You know, I was kind of emotional too for K-Mac last night. That's why he was the second one to get it. I thought it was the right thing to do. But yeah, for life, you know, I'm going to be known as a champion. 10 years, 15 years, I'll tell my kid that, you know, I won in the ECHL, and it's been a great moment. It's started to kick in, and I'm sure it's going to take a while before I go back to normal.
Some other news from around the league is next as ECHL Week continues.
From opening night until the Kelly Cup is raised, watch every game of the 2012-13 ECHL season exclusively on AmericaOneSports.com. Catch the action live or on demand. Games available on your PC, Mac, or mobile device. The biggest goals, hardest hits, and spectacular saves all season long can be found only at AmericaOneSports.com, the official broadband broadcaster to the ECHL.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack.
Please make the monsters go away.
Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
Linesman Brad Phillips has been named as the 2012-13 recipient of the Ryan Birmingham Memorial Award. The award honors an on-ice official for his contributions and dedication to the league officiating staff. It's named in honor of ECHL linesman Ryan Birmingham, who died in an automobile accident in 2007. Phillips worked his 1,000th and final ECHL game on March 16th in Toledo. He joined current Vice President of Hockey Operations Joe Ernst and former linesman Norm Eberle as the only officials to reach the 1,000 game milestone in the 25-year history of the ECHL. Phillips, who worked 15 seasons in the league, also officiated the 2001 All-Star Game and worked 9 Kelly Cup finals, the most of any linesman in ECHL history. The Elmira Jackals hockey staff for next season is taking shape. The team has announced Dwight Mullins will return as head coach, and Robbie Nichols has been brought back as the team's VP and general manager. Matt Huffnagel, who was general manager of both First Arena and the Jackals for the 2012-13 season, has been retained as GM of First Arena. Nichols returns to the Jackals after a one-year hiatus for his 7th season as general manager of the club. As the GM from 2007 to 2012, Nichols' teams compiled a 194, 128, and 34 record and qualified for the playoffs each year. Mullins will return for his 2nd season in Elmira after compiling a 40, 25, and 7 record last season. He was hired just days before the Jackals opened training camp. He went on to win at least 40 games for the 3rd time in 4 years as a pro head coach and qualified for the playoffs for the 4th year in a row. He previously coached for 3 years with Allen of the Central League. Orlando Solar Bears assistant coach Mac McIlvaine has been named assistant coach of the Chicago Steel in the United States Hockey League. McIlvaine played 100 professional games from 2007 to 11, including a couple with the Cincinnati Cyclones. He was an 8th-round pick of the Ottawa Senators in the 2004 NHL entry draft. A native of Naperville, Illinois, McIlvaine was named Orlando's first ever assistant coach in July of 2012. This wraps up our regular weekly schedule of ECHL Week for this season, but we're not done quite yet. We'll still have some special things for you, including extra Kelly Cup Champions coverage of the Reading Royals later in June. Make sure to check out our Facebook and YouTube pages to find out details and dates for future ECHL Week offerings. Thanks for watching us during our first season. Until next time, even though the season's over, make it a good summer and continue to make every week an ECHL Week.